up in this life feel like the biggest tower moment you will ever face, every single last time. And this is what most people don't understand about life or its processes. When you're about to rise into your next purpose, or when you're about to achieve something great or start something great, all nature, everything that's natural to you in your world, shifts. People change on you. Bad things happen to those you love. Um, there's people you have to let go of. People, for some reason, will energetically and at work attack your character. They'll, the whole, everything that is designed in your world, everything you structured, starts to shake. And you find yourself uncertain of whether or not it's the right thing to do. It's because everything you've learned up until this point is being tested to see if you can stand your ground, if you can rise to the occasion, if you energetically can stand. And most people in this world don't know how to stand in their truth, to stand for what they believe, to stand for what they know they should be doing. Whether it's leaving a person, whether it's quitting a job, whether it's walking away from family members. Because any of us that have grown up in this world, we learn that, sometimes blood isn't thicker than water. We have friends that will travel 1,000 miles and give $10,000 for our safety. And we have brothers and sisters who won't get up off the couch, even though get off the couch and drive 20 miles just to make sure you're okay. This is the way the world is designed. Right now, in this time we're living in, people are very, very selfish, very self-absorbed. Something bad can happen to you, and they'll consider their feelings more so than yours. They will, instead of being able to step outside of themselves and say, this person is going through something and it's hurting them, what they'll say is, this person isn't talking to me. What about me? Those type of people, they're not on the level of understanding you're on. And you have to grasp that. You have to grasp that everyone you meet is at a different level of understanding in this life. And because of that, what we see and what we understand are not the same thing. Truth is personal. Reality is something different. That's why two people have different experiences with each other instead of it being identical or being able to describe as the same. An example of that will be, someone asking you to do something, and you do it. And they wanted to see if you would choose to do what was better or choose to do what they say. Now, being an adult, you would choose to do what the person says. That's what you would think would make them happy. But on their level, they're testing you because they're uncertain of whatever, and it's different levels of understanding, and that's okay. We all can't be on the same level. If we were, there'd be nowhere to rise to. And we all need to rise. We all need to grow. We all have something we're working on, and we all have things we need to face. But understand these challenges, these people, these things that are not on your journey, that are not leveling up with you, they're not meant to. It's your journey. It's your life. It's your experience in this place. And because it's your experience, because it's personal, you have to choose you. You have to choose what you understand. You have to choose what you understand to be truth. Everyone has their own idea of what's right and what's wrong. Why? Because if you look at the world the way it's supposed to be seen, if everyone is on different levels of understanding, you can look at it as a prison with multiple levels. The more a person search for knowledge and understanding, the more they grow and the more challenge they have to face breaking out of the levels. You know, these are old things taught that people paid no attention to, because even growing up, you have to understand your parents, your experience with your parents, it was based on their understanding of life, and they didn't know everything. We all get what, 100 years? 100 years ain't shit. 100 years, someone could be 93 years old and not know any more than you, depending on their experiences. So you have to look at people in that way. If you can do some good to help others. But be understanding. Be understanding of another person. Not to the point where you sacrifice yourself, but to the point where you understand, you're willing to step outside of yourself and see where they're coming from also. That's the difference. That's a very important thing that most people refuse to do, because we're all, at the same time, this world teaches us to think of ourselves. Put yourself first. Put your goals, your dreams, your aspirations on the top of the list. Well, that's not family, is it? It's not the idea of family. That's not the idea of community. That's not the idea of what makes a collective grow. And that's why I'm trying to make these videos, because knowledge not shared is useless. And you have to understand that just because you understand something doesn't mean that another person is there. They're not. No one is where you are mentally. No one else is experiencing life through your eyes. It's just like communicating versus conversating. Communication is one way. You're expressing what you're thinking and feeling, okay? But that's not a conversation. A conversation means you're listening to what is being said to you. And then, after you understand what's being said to you, what's being expressed, then you're expressing yourself also, and that person is willing to listen. How many of us are communicating versus conversating? It's important to know these differences and these little things in life, because we're all messed up. We're all messed up. Who isn't messed up? Who isn't? What person isn't narcissistic, isn't toxic, isn't something? They give it a label so you think you can categorize them and judge them. But you're not living their life. You haven't experienced what they've experienced. They don't tell you everything. They tell you what they're willing and comfortable to tell you. There's people that have had experience a lot of death, a lot of pain, a lot of just bad things. The structure of this society, boys and girls don't grow up with their fathers, or they don't grow up with their mothers. Sometimes they don't grow up with either. And they have to figure out who they are. And there are those that grow up with both of them, and they still can't know who they are, because their parents, doing the best that they can, giving all that they have